Hey guys, my name is Crystal. I'm with the Dog Psychology and Training Center, and today we are going to be talking about puppies. Puppies. We personally have several friends that just brought home a new puppy. My mother-in-law just had a litter of puppies. Well, not my mother-in-law, but my mother-in-law's dogs. She breeds golden doodles from galactic doodles, so we've been watching those puppies grow. And so we're just noticing there's a lot of puppies right now. So we want to talk about some to-dos and not to-dos to help you guys get started off on the right paw and to help your puppy grow up with manners. A conversation I was just having last night or the other night, sometime this week, it all kind of blurs together, mom brain. But I had a conversation about how puppies, it doesn't matter how smart your puppy is, meaning it doesn't matter how many commands your puppy knows if they don't have any manners. All of those just become irrelevant because your puppy is still doing some really disrespectful things. So what I mean by that, puppies are very smart. It's easy to teach them sit and roll over and spin and down and all of those fun commands and tricks. But if they don't know how to not jump on somebody, how to greet somebody politely without chewing and biting their hands, and how to walk on a loose leash, then all of those smart qualities actually lose their benefit, their glory, because they're hidden by the fact that your puppy's unruly. So manners are super important, and that's what we're gonna talk a little bit about today. Is what to have in the house for the puppy, how to set up your house for a puppy, and then those manners. So first, we're gonna talk about how puppies, especially so when you're bringing home a puppy, preferably 8 week. If you get your puppy before 8 weeks, it's not ideal. Those last 2 weeks, even though the puppies may not be drinking as much as mommy's milk after 6 weeks, those next 2 weeks up to that 8 week mark, and even longer if your breeder can keep the puppies longer, are super, super, super important to the puppy's manner bank. And what I mean by that is your puppy's learning manners from mommy dog. What better teacher could there be than your dog's mommy? And so mom's going to teach them bite inhibition, pack hierarchy, social hierarchy, how to play, and just socialization. Social cues that us humans, we can't teach dogs because we're people and not dogs. So those extra few weeks with mommy are super, super important and will save you a lot of headaches later on in your puppy's life, just because the mommy dog's going to fill in all those gaps. So remember that puppies are babies, right? When you bring them home at 8 weeks old, they're infants. And so crate time is super important. Don't feel guilty for putting your puppy in its crate a lot those first few weeks and even those first few months sometimes, but especially those first few weeks, because your puppy is like an infant. What do infants do? Sleep. And so much like small children, puppies don't know how to stop. And so they'll just keep going and going and going until they pass out on your lap. And you think, oh, that's cute. Well, you basically just worked your puppy to the point of exhaustion. It's not healthy for their growth. And then resting on your lap is not as good as resting in their bed, in their crate, right? Just like an infant sleeping in someone's arms is very difficult to get them to consistently sleep there, because if you flinch, if you move, that puppy's awake, that infant's awake. Versus if they're sleeping in their bed, they get solid sleep. Their bed's not going to twitch or move or get up, unlike us humans. So in the crate is best. If you can not feel guilty, don't feel guilty. It's your puppy's playpen with it as well. However, where you place your crate is super important to how your puppy will react to the crate. So we recommend a quiet place that's relaxing, maybe a laundry room, or like a utility room or a guest room that you don't really use as a bedroom, so that your puppy can have that quiet place to go to and get some really good quality sleep. So preferably not in a bedroom where you're coming and going, or where you might be tossing and turning all night, waking that puppy up, or a kid's room where they might be trying to play in the room and the puppy just really needs a nap right now and it can't sleep because the kid keeps waking them up because they're playing. So preferably a quiet area of the house, not the living room, not a kitchen, not a dining room. I understand that some houses, that's just the only place you can put them, but you really need to give that puppy a space that is quiet and to them. And covering the crate can help in those crowded areas. If you have to have a puppy in like a kitchen or a dining room, covering them up with the crate covers or having a plastic Very style kennel that's more solid will let your puppy feel more peaceful in it. So having that crate, super important. Anytime you can't watch your puppy, they go in the crate, just like your toddler. When your baby's a year old and they start walking around, or even when they start crawling around, you don't go check the mail with your baby unattended in the living room with cords behind the TV, and they could just jump off the couch. I mean, let's be real, kids are crazy. So, pack and plays are super important. We always can put our babies in there when we can't watch them like a hawk to go do our business. That's what your crate is for. So if you have to cook dinner, if you have to help the kids with homework, if you have to do bedtime or bath time before bedtime, it's really hard to watch your puppy during those times. Put them in their crate. And the benefit of this is your puppy gets an extra nap because they need it, but also you're preventing your puppy from making bad mistakes when you can't watch them. So often we get caught up in life, we're not noticing the puppy doing something naughty until they've really destroyed something expensive, and then we're really upset. So putting them in the crate when you can't watch them, super important. When the puppy is out of the crate, they're going to be on a leash, a 6-foot leash preferably. If your puppy's small enough, you can just wrap it around your ankle, and everywhere you go, your puppy goes. If you have a bigger breed puppy, you probably don't want it around your ankle. You want to be holding it in your hand so they don't drag you down the floor or hurt your leg by just bolting away. Because some puppies grow really fast. Morgan, for a while, she was growing 10 pounds a month. And she ended up being small for a Mastiff. So, but having that puppy on a leash when they're out of their crate gives you that eagle eye, right? The puppy's within a 6-foot radius of you. You can always be watching them. If they start doing that potty dance where they're sniffing and circling, hey, let's go outside. If they start to chew on something they're not supposed to, so maybe you're in the kitchen and they start to kind of sniff at the cupboards and maybe open their mouth to bite it, you're right there to catch them before they even get to make contact to say, no, here, get your toy. And so you get to prevent all of those naughty behaviors from developing into bad habits. If you don't have your puppy on a leash, they could be 10 feet from you, but just around the corner, and they can do a lot of damage just around the corner without you knowing it. They're like ninjas. Puppies can be so quiet sometimes. So keep them on the leash so they can be in your line of sight, and you can always watch them. And don't hesitate to pass the puppy to a responsible person in the house. So if you got to do bath time, but dad's awake, here, dad, you hold the leash for a little bit. I got to go do this. Super, super important to keep them on the leash. And when you can't watch them, in the crate. I have my little bullet points, so I'm just following along them. Let's see. Just a little disclaimer. If you do have a fenced-in backyard, I would still take your puppy out on a leash to potty, but then you can unlatch the leash because you have a fenced-in backyard. You can unlatch the leash to let the puppy play. And because puppies have a super short attention span, less than 7 seconds, literally you'll tell them to go potty and they're like, oh yeah, I have to go potty, leave, oh, a squirrel. And they forget that they have to go potty. But if you have a leash on, you can just give it a little tug and say, hey, remember, potty time, go potty. And you can keep them on track till they do their business, and then they can play. And that teaches them potty first and then play. So 6 months down the road, you let them outside to go to the bathroom. 10 minutes later, you open the door to have them come inside. They didn't potty that whole time outside because they were just playing. And now that you have to go to work, they've pottied in the house. So potty first, then play. Super important. Puppies are super smart, and they will catch on to these habits if you are strict and structured from the beginning. I don't mean strict as in a big meanie, but strict with the rules. Set these house rules and say, this is what we are going to abide by, and your puppy will thank you for it later. Yes, I said that right. Okay, here's another big one. A lot of people think you have to walk your dog for them to go potty. If you like walking your dog and you like picking up after your dog when they go potty, hopefully you do that. If you don't do that, that's not cool. But I don't. Mom brain, I always forget my potty bags. I don't want to be carrying around a bag of poop anyways because I have to hold like 4 toddler hands, so I ain't got room to hold poop. And so we taught our dogs to potty on command, and we stand in one spot of our yard. So when they're potty training, we took them outside, we picked a corner, farthest corner of our yard. We would just stand there, and they got the 6-foot leash, and we would just pivot. That's all the space they need to go potty. And we just kept reminding them if they'd get distracted. The benefit of that was that the puppy learned that was the designated potty area. We went to that spot every time to let them potty, and then we'd let them loose and they could play freely in the yard. And so our dogs quickly learned, one of my videos here just told me they were done. So we're gonna just keep on talking. I don't know why that happened. But sorry. So picking that spot in your yard, having your puppy potty there, and then praising them for pottying there, play elsewhere. And you will get to the point that your puppy is almost holding you on the leash to get to that corner to go potty, because they know that's where I go. Even though you have to walk across the whole yard of grass, they want to go to that corner. And then it just makes your life easier, because you can just tell your guests, hey, just don't go in that corner and you're cool. You won't step on any boot, you know? Super important when you have dogs in the home. All puppies' circadian rhythms and body rhythms are the same. They all have their own rhythm. So find your puppy's eat, play, and potty schedule, okay? Because they all have their rhythm. Some puppies that come in for our board and trains, they eat and they need to go potty, number 2, like within 5 minutes, immediately. Other puppies eat and they got to go like in 20 minutes. Or some puppies only potty once, or go number 2 once a day, like in the morning or the evening, and we just know that's their time. And so find your puppy's rhythm. It'll save your sanity. And you can do that by keeping a little log on your phone, or having like a little flip notebook that you keep by the leash or in your back pocket. So every time you take your puppy out, you say, was it success? Did your puppy go? Nope, no go. We say NBA, no bathroom activity, until we can start finding a rhythm about, oh, the puppy goes potty. Let's say we feed at 8 a.m. The puppy goes potty at 8:05 every single day, or the puppy goes potty at 8:20 every single day. So it helps you find that rhythm so that you can be expecting when that puppy needs to go, and not like guessing, I don't know, let's just keep going out until he goes. So if you're consistent, you can find that rhythm within a week. I mean, you just literally got to write it down, because in today's day and age, we are so oversaturated with information in our minds, we can't remember little things like this very well. So write it down. Do yourself a favor and write it down. Okay, here's another one that's really tough. I sometimes personally struggle with this one myself. If you don't want them to do it as an adult dog, don't let them do it as a puppy. It was so hard for Morgan, because we wanted her to get up on her lap and squish her face in our face and just love her and squeeze her and put her in big bear hugs. But we knew she was going to be a 100+ pound dog, which was going to be way too big for laps. So we never let her up on her lap. We just let her lay her head on our lap next to us when we'd sit on the floor. And so if you don't want your dog to do it as an adult dog, don't think it's acceptable as a puppy. Puppies are learning every second of the day. If you excuse their naughty behavior by saying, that's just puppy behavior, that's going to be your dog's adult behavior. Puppies are so smart. Remember I said between that 6-week and 8-week period, mommy dog is teaching her puppies? She is literally teaching her puppies. So you can start teaching your puppies day 1. Yes, we can't expect them to do backflips or climb mountains. They are puppies. But they are super smart and can learn your house rules. House rules are manners, basic manners, right? So no jumping. Yes, it's cute when this little 3-pound, 10-pound, 15-pound puppy is jumping on you, but when it's a 65-pound dog, it's not going to be so cute. Or when he starts jumping on your kids and knocking them over, not so cute. So don't let it be okay. Let's see, chewing on your fingers. That's another one that families will come in and they'll say, it's just a puppy thing. No, it doesn't have to be. You could teach them not to chew on your fingers, and not to chew on your clothes, and not to chew on your shoes and all the other things that the puppies destroyed in the house. You can teach them what's right and wrong. So for finger chewing, chewing things in the house, also known as house chewing, redirect your puppies. So as they come to greet you, have a toy in your hand or in your back pocket. So as they come up, you can tell them, here, get your toy. And they can chew on that and nom on that as you're loving them and your fingers are safe. And if you do it consistently enough, your dog will do what Morgan does. And as soon as we get company, she's 10 years old, still to this day, as soon as we get company, before she goes and says hi to them, she finds a toy. Because she gets so excited, she wants to use her mouth, because that's a dog's hand. That's how they explore the world, is with their mouth. because she knows it's not socially acceptable to chew on people when they come through our door. Never is that allowed. So she'll get a toy and she'll have her toy in her mouth and she'll be chewing on it and squeaking it as people are petting her. And that's just like the top of her life right there. Like, that's just like the highlight of her day, is that right there, having a toy in her mouth and people loving her. So if you don't want to do it as adult dogs, don't let them do it as a puppy. Here's an old dog trainer saying is, you pet what you get. You get what you pet. You get what you pet. So what that means is, if your puppy's jumping and you're petting it, guess what? You're telling your puppy, awesome job, buddy, do it again. If your puppy's chewing on your fingers and you say, oh, he's cute, and you're petting him, awesome job, buddy, do it again. So anytime your dog's doing something naughty, don't pet them. Don't touch them. Use their collar to pull them off if you have the leash on, like I suggested. Keep that leash on them so you can take the leash and pull them away. So you're not touching them away, because you're still rewarding them. If you're pushing them away and you're touching them, you're still rewarding them because you're touching them. So puppies are very simplistic. If you just touch them, that's it. That's like that. That's the reward. That's all they wanted. So use the leash to pull them away, guide them down, and then pet them on all 4 feet or on the ground. It's also a hard one. Praise good behavior. Sometimes dogs start to do naughty behaviors because we never recognize the good behaviors, and we only have a reaction when they're doing something wrong. So when you see your puppy nicely laying on the floor chewing its toy, praise them for that. Hey buddy, good job. Keep chewing on your toy. If you see your puppy run up to somebody and sit, hurry up and praise them before they realize this isn't working. I need to jump and get in their face, because then they'll get attention. Praise them for that sitting so they don't feel like they have to jump to get that attention. So praise your puppy's good behavior and praise your puppy's calm behavior. So don't freak out and praise the calm behavior. Praise calmly. But when you see your puppy just chilling, praise that. Hey, good dog. Good boy. Good girl. And then walk away. Praise it subtly, but mark it. That's the behavior we want to see more of. And then last one, we call it our formula for success, but it's, if your puppy shouldn't be doing something, what should they do instead? You can't just teach your puppy, don't do that, because your puppy doesn't understand what else to do. You have to teach your puppy what to do instead. So our formula is interrupt that naughty behavior, whatever stops them in the act. Proper alternative, what should they have been doing anyways? And then praise them for that. So let's go back to potty training, because this is the most simplistic one that we all get, but we forget to apply to other aspects of puppyhood, is if your puppy was to start peeing right now in your living room, what is the honest to goodness thing that you would do? Scream, right? You'd be like, no, stop, don't pee in my living room. And then what does your puppy need to do? Well, it needs to finish going potty, but where? Outside. So you're teaching them the proper alternative. Hey, let's go outside. Let your puppy pee outside. And then what do? You mark it. You praise it. Hey, what a good boy. What a good girl. So stop the behavior in the act. Show them what they should do instead. And then praise them for doing that good thing. And I want to end with this. Praise does not have to be food. Does not have to be treats. Your puppy does not need a treat every time it goes into its crate or every time it comes inside from going potty. Sometimes your verbal cues and your physical cues of petting your dog are more than enough to make them feel satisfied and whole. We don't always have to feed. I only stress this because of the pet obesity epidemic that we're seeing right now in dogs, and dogs don't live long enough to begin with. So obviously if your dog's overweight, they're unhealthy, and that shortens their lifespan. I know I want every single minute I can get with my dogs and not one less. So I'm going to do everything I can to keep my dogs fit and in shape so that they can live the longest, fullest life. So now everything has to be food related. Praise can just be a scruff on the, scruffing up the ears, petting them, verbally saying good dog, maybe giving them a toy, maybe giving them some interaction, spending 30 seconds or a minute playing with them, playing fetch or tug, whatever. But giving them that praise does not have to be food related. So, all right, I'm going to keep it short. Those are my tips. And I hope I answered. Let me real quick. I had one comment here that I want to make sure I address. So puppy mouthing. So I talked about the redirection. but since I had a specific question on this, I want to make sure that I address it. So when puppies are playing, they can get very excited, and they can sometimes sound a little aggressive, growling and barking and biting and doing the shredding motions where they shake their head like they're going to shred this toy. That is not your dog being aggressive and that they want to maul you. That is a normal dog instinct when they play. Playing is learning, okay? Playing is not just playing. Playing is learning. Your dog's always learning something. Just like kids, right? When they play house, the little girl's playing, you know, how to be a mom and take care of her kids, and the little boy's playing how to be a dad and how to protect the kids. And so the same is true for dogs. When they're playing and they're shredding, they're learning how to hunt. And so that's not bad, but you can settle it down. And so the command we use is enough. And there's a couple different ways that we can get to that. Sometimes it's me just picking up the puppy and kind of holding them in like a bear hug, but not super tight. Obviously, they gotta breathe, but kind of holding them. And I'll make sure their head comes out over here so that if they're trying to bite, they can't get anything. They can't get my shoulder. They can't get my face. They're just right here. And I just kind of hold them. And their heart's beating so fast because they're so excited. And I just breathe. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to say anything. I say enough once, and if they don't do it, I pick them up and I just hold them and I breathe until they relax. And when they're calm, I'll set them back down. Sometimes they very quickly escalate right back to that frantic play state, and I'll pick them back up and hold them again. So that's one way. It works really well for some dogs. Other dogs, they do not like this at all, and it'll make them more feisty because they're more of a fighter. And so having a leash on them and pulling them away from the play, whether it was a toy or with another dog. And you can just hold that leash, maybe stepping on it or sitting on it. And it's an exercise called Settle the Dog, where the puppy gets no attention. So if they turn you, you're just kind of shrugging them off with your arms. You're just kind of swiping your arm across your lap to brush the puppy off. If they're trying to chew on you, we use a product called Bitter Apple that you can spray on your fingers and on your arms and on your cheeks and your chin if your puppy tries chewing on you, and it just makes you taste gross, so your puppy just gives up trying to chew on you. And so spray yourself with the Bitter Apple and help calm them down. And so usually those two things help tremendously in getting that puppy to calm down, and then instigate the play on purpose to teach that command, which is enough. So we would get our puppies all riled up, and then we'd say enough. And that's it. We stop playing. We do not engage further. If we have to do the bear hug, we can. If I have to do the leash thing, I can. But the puppies very quickly realize that when that word is spoken, everything calms down. So then later, when we have a play date with another dog and we say enough, the other dog's still going berserk, and my dog's still like, a little bit, guys. We need to settle down. So I hope that answers the question that we got earlier. And let me see if we have any other comments. I don't think we do. Oh, hey, Blair, thanks. So that's it, guys. That's all I got today. I hope that was helpful for you and your new puppy. For all of my friends who just got new puppies, congratulations. I can't wait to squeeze them and smell their puppy breath and get their puppy kisses because it's been a while since we've had a puppy of our own. But I can't wait to play with yours. All right, guys. See ya.